Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with our favorite coach, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She is in the house, and we are excited because Coach, you always bring such wonderful information
Thank
to
you.
help us in our personal and our business life.
Yes.
And today, you've got a powerful topic. Guys, I'm telling you, you need to follow Coach on Instagram and on TikTok and just get a feel for what's going on in your business and your
Hmm.
life and how you can get that together.
Yes.
So, Coach, I'm going to stop talking. I'm t- Before I do that, maybe I should introduce myself. I'm
Yes.
Terry from California Cover Ups, and I want to give a shout out to my partner, Miss Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, and we are the Biz Chicks, and you are
Yes.
watching Biz Chicks TV,
Right on.
featuring Coach Caren Fern. Coach, you have the floor.
All right. I got the floor, guys. And today we're talking about stepping into your power. Uh, this topic come because I've been talking to, when I talk to clients, and sometimes I just watch how they're not stepping in, and then we go through the process, and there's this bingo, and they're like, so I enjoy seeing people just become awake and
Mhm.
you're getting a taste. That's why we're talking a little bit about the subject. And it's such a big subject that I divided in 3 sets because there was a lot to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Talk about. Okay, we're gonna do some questions and then we're gonna go around. So I'm gonna give you your highlights as I usually do, tell you what we're gonna talk about, then we're gonna dive in. So we're gonna talk about what do I want. When I say stepping into your power, is the experience that you really truly want for yourself. And what is a power move? What is a powerful move that I could make right now? Because when you move, and doesn't matter how tiny it is, stepping into your power doesn't have to be a big move. Those tiny steps get you to where you want to be. Stepping into your power, all you got to do is start the movement. We're going to talk a little more about that. And once done, what do I do with it? Because here's the other part. When I got a great session with somebody and we talk and they feel great, like what do I do next? If it's in person, because I do in-person coaching too, guys, if you didn't know, that's where it started. And I can watch them because of where they're going back to, how they're being surrounded and elevated. Sometimes, even though they're in the powerhouse, when they get back home or get back to work or get back to wherever, it feels like it's diminished. And I've had this conversation with quite a few people. And really, what happens is whatever we talked about, when they step, and sometimes I need to do visuals where I have somebody step on a pad as their power pad. When they go home back, they're like you need a power pad home. Matter of fact, I was thinking of getting some to just give to clients and send to clients. Like, just sometimes people need this visual. Like, if you're in the midst of a storm, here's your power pad, step on it and let everything else fall away. Because you can't control what the other people are doing. Don't try. Please don't try. You can't. That's their place. That's where they are right now. That's their part of their journey. Journeys are messy, by the way, guys.
Mhm.
So when somebody's in their mess, you're not invited in unless you invite yourself in. Please stay out. Don't get involved.
Wow. That is such great advice. Coach, I'm coming up. Wow. You said a mouthful there. And and I love the exercise of having this power pad. Ooh.
So now we just need to step into it because it's difficult if you're so used to the messes that you're in, the things that is not going right. And we spend a lot of time trying to correct the people, the person, the atmosphere, when truly it's not us to do. We think we need to do it, but we don't need to do it. We really need to hear this part. You think you need to do it, but you don't need to do it. And nothing is going to happen. other than what is supposed to happen.
Mm.
Give you a little demonstration. We're going to talk kids now. If a kid is riding the bike and you're saying, don't go up the bump, don't go up the bump, and they went up the bump and they fall down, as soon as they skid their knees, knee pad or whatever, all of a sudden they understood why not to go up the bump. Now, you could have just let them go up the bump, fall down, and then kiss it, explain, and let them be. We feel we need to step in beforehand. Let them have a go at it. And when it's adult, you don't have to do anything at all. You sympathize, you empathize. Don't try to do anything unless you're asked. And if it's
Wow.
not in your field of expertise,
Well, what about our adult children?
our adult children, they are the ones we have to listen to more than anything. Like, our advice has to be so, we want to, because I've got pure adult kids. So I just want to go in and fix it. I'm not going to sit here and pretend. But what I learned is I had to just sit there and let it be. Let them use me at the moment. That's the only time I feel like the using is great. Use me to get it out of them and have a non-judgmental person just hear them. And you say to them, I hear you. I feel you. I wish I could take away the pain from you. But if I did, I would do you a disservice because the pain is needed. And right now, you might hate me for telling you that the pain is needed because you want relief. But the pain that you got to go through is to get you through.
Mm.
Because you played a part in causing the pain. Not
Mhm.
because you told the person to hurt you or did something to you, but you played a part in it. And how you played a part in it, could be so many different scenarios. I don't want you to go blame yourself. I don't want you to figure out if you should have. No, 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 no. You just played a part. That's it. Because if you played a part in a scene of a play and the play flopped, there's the people who go away and blame themselves forever, but those are the people who blame themselves for a day or two and then get back up and, audition for another play. That's where I want to see you. And your audition might not be next month or next week, but it might be next year. And that's okay. What I don't want you to do as my child is to keep blaming yourself. I should have seen it. I should have known this could happen. You don't have a crystal ball. You can't know. You played a part in it, but you cannot know every single thing that was going to happen.
Wow.
Not your cup of tea.
That's a great perspective.
Because being a coach and a teacher, I really like to give advice. I'm not going to sit here and lie, but I have learned over the years to zip it.
Oh my goodness.
I've learned, and I've learned to wait for the conversation to get to where they want to talk to me because my son is 39. He's going to be 40 next year. And so he's taught me a lot. Petra's going to be 31 this year. She's taught me a lot. Mom, and I would say, like, we've gotten it down to a science where I'd say, is this a conversation where you want to vent? Are you looking for advice? And tell me when I can chime in. And if I'm going too far, you can stop me. Only because you might not ready to hear it. She's my softer child, so she can't hear too much at once. My son, on the other hand, I can have a full conversation with him. And then he'll say, Mom, I think I had my fill for the day. We'll pick it up again next week. Especially if he's in the wrong. So he need that time. She doesn't care which side she lies. And my third, I can literally have the full conversation with him. And I know he's going to go away and I'm going to see him back in 5 to 7 days to finish it up. Because he need that processing time. I just learned this over time, guys. This was not, any rush process. By no means.
Well, that's good to know that we don't just come with that kind of intuition to know what approach to have with our children and with other people we have relationships with.
Exactly. One of the things I told my mom once, it says, one of the things It's not like we're not prepared as human beings. For some reason, when we get a kid, we seem to know what to do, but we're not prepared to transition from kid to adulthood, our children. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for us to transition them. And I find we just either drop them or we want to be dictative in every aspect. So I learned over time that if I give enough space, they'll come back to me when one needs to come back to me. Or I would say to them when they were much younger, but still adult, I'll say, younger adults, I'll say, we used to have to meet a whole year I put aside, and every month we'll meet. And we would talk about where your money's at, how you feeling, what projects you want to work on. And you have room and space that if you mess up within the month, you can come talk to me about it and I won't judge you. If you're feeling really bad, we can do it before the meeting with the kids. And then when we are together, I'm still going to bring it up, but just the portion that you feel comfortable for your rest of your siblings to hear until you're
Mm-hmm.
ready to give them the rest. So then everybody's coming to the meeting feeling good and not worried because the bad part was spoken of. They had a couple of days, so now they're coming in their powerhouse. They're feeling good about themselves, even though it's a bad situation. And it didn't matter if it was money, relationship, a fight with their dad, something happened at work, they quit the job. It didn't matter what it was. It was that when they come, even though they're still feeling bad about it, or drop out of school because my daughter had dropped out of university at that time. The siblings can't judge her because we're in this zone, especially when we get to that space where you can say anything and you're free and nobody could judge you. She can say, I feel bad that I dropped out, but I really couldn't manage. Like it was too much for me. She's doing art. My hands at the time was just paining me. I think the nerve damage is worse than I thought. So here's the things I'm not doing anymore. And then the
Mm-hmm.
brothers get to say, we didn't know. Why didn't you tell us? They have this conversation. And I just sit there and listen. And like, Mom, you knew? I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't tell you before she's ready.
Yes.
And then we have that. So I'm giving everybody that chance to be in their own power and we can have that conversation. And
Wow.
it was a learned thing though. By no means, guys, I don't know everything, but I just learn things. And I
Mm-hmm.
learned to let my children go as they get older, again, step by step. So once you get a certain age, I say, you don't have to ask me to go. And that before they're fully grown adults, teenage, but you got to tell me where you're going. And you don't
Mm-hmm.
have to tell me how long you're going to be there. But if you see, you got sense that 2, 3, 4 hours you've left and you see it's really getting heated and the conversation is sweet, just call me and say, Mom, I don't know when I'm coming home. And so I'm not worried, but I know that you're okay. I'm gonna still worry, Terry. It's part of being a mom, but I'm not worrying to the extent of thinking all the crazy thoughts that moms go through because
Yeah.
you're enjoying yourself at this conversation.
Wow. Okay.
So those are the stepping stones I do for my kids to get them to adulthood. So now that everybody's big, as I just give you their ages, they find me and come talk to me when need be. And if I see somebody's not looking great, I'll say, do we need to have a conversation? Is something bothering you? Is
Mm-hmm.
something bothering you that you're not ready yet to tell me, but you got parts of it that you could tell me? There's the other part. And if they're
Uh-huh.
like, yes, Mom, I can't tell you the whole thing. Okay, just give me enough to help ease your burden so it's not sitting on your conscious. Yes.
Gotcha.
All right.
Wow. All right. Well, let me take a back seat here and
I'm
learn
gonna take a
some
sip of
more.
water.
And learn some more.
It's a
Oh my
whole
goodness.
different ball game having adult kids is
I'm telling you, that's a whole different ball of wax. Yes.
it is, it is, it is. Once you start getting there though, you're realizing, it's all good. So what do you want? When I say what do you want, and I say stepping into power, you have to know what you want to be able to step into that power. Okay, you got to know what you want. And some people say, I want a home, I want to buy a car, I want to clear away all my expenses. I get all of that, but what is it you truly want? Because if you don't know, then I'm gonna give you steps to go find out what you truly want.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, I want to raise, I want more vacation, but what do you truly want? And all these things might be true, but what do you truly want? And if somebody said to me, I had a client the other day, last week, and she said, what I truly want is to not be worried about the money. I want to not worry that my husband because she's the worker, he is the entrepreneur. I don't want to worry that he don't have enough business. And I panic. So if we take a vacation, I'm thinking about all the money that we spent on the vacation. And I'm not really enjoying the vacation because I'm worrying about the money. Meanwhile, he's not worried because he said it's going to be okay. But I can't seem to be okay. So she's unable to step into her power. And she had that power before and she felt like it dwindled away. And so I said to her, one of the things that she has to do is know what she truly wants. And she has to have the discussion with him, but she can't give him everything at once. She has to give him just a little bits at a time. And of course, this is confidential, so I'm not going to talk about a person's situation, but it's just enough so you understand that a little bit at a time that needs to be spoken on and gathered. And everybody knows who their partner is and how that happens. If you do have a partner, though, that you can talk to about this stuff, you're going to have to go write for yourself, right? You're going to have to write to get it out your brain, because part of the problem is if it just sits up here and it goes nowhere, you're in this forever circle and it's hard to really get out of it. But if you were able to understand that you can write it down, then you can get out of the circle because there's a place to go. So I need a vacation for 2 weeks somewhere, whatever. But my monies can only, if I budget right, I can take a week. Oh, I look at it and maybe, coach, all I can get is 2 days because of family commitment and other things. And I say, okay, let's figure out how you take 2 days off. And that 2 days mean no calling a clients if you're a business, no reaching out to anybody. This is just your time. So we got to plan it well. If it's a mom with a kid, we got to figure out where the kid is going to be, how that's going to happen. And the minute we start brainstorming, we find solutions. And so we get everything set up. This is a plan. If it's smaller kids, it's a bigger plan. If the kids are growing a little more, it's a easier planning, even though most parents don't feel like that when we're talking. But we're like, we need to plan a whole month ahead so you can truly enjoy this time and no hold bars. I remember I had this friend once, I wasn't even coaching then. And she said, Caren, there's no way I could leave the 2 kids because my husband will not watch them for the weekend. And I said, okay. So what are you going to do? She goes, but I need it. I said, okay, so let's talk to him. And we went and we talked to him. He wasn't happy about it, but after he was happy because he said, if she came to me, I wouldn't want to do it. And I know I don't want you involved, but somehow I still wanted you because you give me the opportunity to have my kids for 2 full days. I was just scared. I told him, say, you're just scared. That's it. You're just scared. You're just scared. So let you have the kids while you're scared, and then she'll go away. And then when she come back, the next month, you can get the weekend without anybody. And it's just going to be you. And he said, I could do that. I said, you can do that and nobody will blame you. We'll book the hotel. So we did 2 bookings. We did the booking for her and we did the booking for him. No family. I didn't want her to go at her mom or nothing. I wanted her to just go by herself because she needed it. And she just went to the hotel. She did a full prayer there. We did the Friday with her. Actually, a bunch of us went and did prayers for the Friday, but the Saturday and the Sunday, it was just her and whatever she needed. And then she came back home Sunday night, nice and fresh. She was really happy Monday. He's like, I've got the best wife now. I'm like, because she got that time. She stepped into her power. She got the rest she needed.
She got the rest. I think that's a very common problem. We don't rest.
Yes. Yeah. She got the rest she needed. And I told her, I said, one of the big things is you can't call a bunch of people and tell them. It's not a secret, but you just can't tell a bunch of people. You got to go get the time. And then after the time, you can mention it. Because I don't want you to feel obligated to call this body and talk to this body or see if your mom is doing well. Because her and her mom is very close. And the mom is like, I'm so happy you didn't call me because, of course, I'd be chatting with you. So she had, something they would have been talking. So she had the time. She went and get a massage. She said, Caren, that was the first time since university that I had just a lunch on my own. I read a book, 2 chapters. I said, what happened to me? She gets to ask those questions like, what happened to me? Like, what did I do? So before you go buy the car and save for the house, I want to spend some time finding out who you are. I love the commercial where this girl is going on this belt where it's moving around and and she saw her teenage self, and she's like, "Hi, how are you?" She's like, "Oh my god, that's what I used to wear. I can't believe I was that slim. Holy cow, we used to have so much fun in that outfit." Like she was seeing herself and just so happy to find her. And that's
Mm.
part of stepping into your power, is finding you, whichever parts of you that you want to find, and just enjoy. You're not trying to go back or get slimmer. That's not the point here. It's just understanding that joyful part of you. She was excited because she had a lot of fun in that section. That
Yes.
was it. She can have different fun now, and she understood that. But where do you find, like, how do I get it? Like, what are the things? And then once you go get that rest, now you can come back and plan all these wonderful things that you want to do. And don't rush to do that. Just know that you can, and then give yourself the time and space. If you think that you need to do X amount of time in a week, give yourself 2 weeks.
Mm.
I bet you'll finish it in a week and a half at a good pace, feeling good, coming out not upset, not overworked, because you give yourself the time and space.
Wow.
You give yourself the time and space.
That is so. Who knew that just a couple of days of rest could help us find ourselves?
Mhm. Because you start a journey. Just remember, guys, when a couple of days is you start a journey. You start something new for you, not a kids, not a hubby, not your siblings, not your friend, just for you. When you're not being selfish, you're just finding you. You got new conversations. Maybe when you're away, you think about a hobby that I really wanted to do, and I was
Mm.
nervous. And now I can pick it up and do it. And it didn't matter what it is. If it's crochet, if it's badminton, if it's walking for an hour, it doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Go do it. And you start small and you grow. I showed somebody the other day, like, you can just walk from one corner to the next. And that's great, because although you might want to walk 6 blocks, all you need is 1 block.
Okay.
Don't do two, 1 block. And then within 3 days, you might do 2 blocks. And then
Okay.
adding small amounts. All of a sudden, you're at your 6 blocks and you're like, when did this happen? Because power just make you feel like you can do it all. And what is the number two is,
Mhm.
what is a something small that you can do right now?
Okay.
And right now is just deciding and stepping on that power mat. And if you're visual and you don't have anything right now, put a scrap piece of paper, put something, right? Power, right, right there, right? Power on it. And step into my power and just step on it. And stay for a minute, put on a timer, and maybe if it's really hard for you, you're gonna need to stay there for like 5 minutes. If you start coming down and you find you can stay another five, you stay there for another 5 minutes. And so when I want to just caution you about this part, because when you step on your power mat initially, the first thoughts are going to be all the things you can't do. Let me
Mm.
not dismiss that, because this is important. When you step there, whether you tell me or not, your being is going to want to inform you of all the things that you cannot do and why. We're not having that. We listen and
Mm-hmm.
we okay it, but we're not going to agree with it. We're just okaying it. Somebody tell you something and you say, okay, but you're not agreeing with it. That's what you're doing.
You're
Okay,
just acknowledging that
that's
it's
it. Yeah. But you're staying on your power mat. You're grounding yourself. And you find it and you stay there for your 5 or 10 minutes, and then you leave. And anything happen after that time, you just remember, you use your memory button and you get back there. So whatever's happening with everybody else that has nothing to do with you, that is not your concern, that you're not going to fix,
mm-hmm.
because it's not yours to fix.
Everything is not for you to fix.
Mm-mm. Go back.
Mm. So we ask ourselves two questions. First one was, what do we want?
Mhm.
And what can we do now?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow. Oh my gosh, Coach. We may have to wrap this up for this session.
Yes. Yes. You will.
Um, So let's review.
Today we're talking about stepping into your power. And guys, we're going to do a couple of sessions of this. So you're going to we're going to go through some things. And we looked at, what do you want? What do you want? And not everybody's able to do it right away. And sometimes, even though the people who would do it right away, once they go back and brainstorm, they realize that that might not be the thing they truly want. It's just top of mind, front view. I call it the front view. It's just top
Hmm.
of mind. So it spill out. I want goodness for my kids. I want it. No, maybe that's not what's deep inside. Maybe what's so deep inside, you feel so afraid to speak it out loud.
Wow.
And so you don't. But I encourage you to write it if you can't speak it yet. And then you could read from the written work. And that way you're taking away some of the barriers that you're feeling. Because just fear that is surrounding the thought process. And now
Mhm.
we want you to break it away. And to get it broken away is by writing it down. And then once it's there and you can read it out and read it a few times, and then maybe you want to get in front of the mirror and now you want to read it out. Because I find when self sees self, even though you might be shy initially to speak to self, I promise you, over time, you'll be able to do it. I was coaching a friend, and her son would pass by and just hear in the background. And she said, Caren, I got up early one morning and I didn't realize my son was so shy. I know he's quiet.
Mhm.
And he was saying a lot of the things that I had her repeatedly doing for herself. And she didn't want to invade and say anything. But finally, a day she said to him, he says, Mom, it works. He just came to her and says, Mom, it works. And she said, what works? He goes, I was able to stand up for myself today. So, guys, I'm telling you, especially people who I'm not coaching and it worked beyond, I'm always
Mhm.
like so excited for them. Like he got in there and he was able to stand up for himself. He said he was able to talk to the supervisor without getting annoyed, without being frustrated, but just do what he needed to do because he
Mhm.
was, finding himself, finding his own power. So, guys,
Wow. That's
today.
good.
That's it for today. Next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about, the other things that you're going to do in your life because we're going to walk you through. All right.
Wow. Coach, this was such I don't know, a a powerful session. And I think it's really important for people to learn how to step into their own power.
Mhm.
So, one of the things I want you guys to know that if you are looking to connect with Coach Caren, you can find her on her Instagram. You can find her. You're on TikTok. Is that correct?
No, we said on TikTok.
Why am I putting you on TikTok? I don't know. I apologize for that because I said
That's all
that
right.
earlier that you were on TikTok and you are not on TikTok. Okay, which Coach Caren can be reached, and I have a link here
Mhm.
for. Is this link still valid if people want to
Yeah,
book a session?
they can still for now. Yeah,
Okay,
they don't
very
want to touch
good.
on, but they still can. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so if you're looking to book a session with Coach Caren, you can in fact click on this link,
Hmm.
put it in your browser,
Yes.
copy it into your browser, and go and book an appointment to talk to Coach Caren. Um, I think we all need a session. My goodness. Okay. And what's going on with your course now, Coach?
Oh my goodness. The core, the specific one that the one is still there, but the one that I'm building out is just turned into this. It's going to be just a full blown program because I got some
Uh-huh.
people waiting to do it too. So, anyway, it should be ready by the end of this month. And that's money management. This is a full blown program. I can tell you guys the name right now, like a money management workshop. I don't know if I'm going to rename it, but it's really diving in deep to all the things that my clients we're working through, the things that
Mm.
students, because I had a few students do some just one-off courses with me, and I put it all in there. It turned out bigger than I thought it would have been, but it's good. It's things that people want. It's things that I know that I've coached people through.
Mhm.
I and it's funny, I know what I wanted to put in the program, But I love that it turned out that I'm giving what people want, because that's the most important thing, guys. I'm of service to my clients and students, and so they are getting the things they need to manage their money well. So
Wow.
it's gonna
All
be good.
right, guys, you heard it. We got a money management class coming up.
Mhm,
I'm looking
mhm.
forward to that. Okay. So, guys, I want to remind you that if you're looking to become a part of BizChicks, we ask that you simply text Biz to 33777 and join our group. We'd love to share with others what it is you do and how you do it. You can also find us over at bizchicks.net. Don't get that confused with bizchicks.com, bizchicks.net,
Net.
and see our new revamped website. We look forward to helping you run a profitable business that's fun to run and taking the hassle
Out
out
of
of
the
your
hustle.
hustle. With that, we want to remind you to tune in um, and keep track of this ongoing session on taking your power.
Yeah, you got to
Mm-hmm.
step into that, guys. I'm telling you,
Yes,
it's
stepping
it's
into
life
that power.
changing when you do it. Okay, it's life
Yes, it is.
changing.
And so we're going to let Coach Karen walk us gently through how to take back our power. We'll see you again for the next session. Bye bye, everyone.